So I came to Dr. Cynthia on day 6 of having, I don't know if it was a cold or what it was, but I was sick. And I really didn't recognize how really sick and run down I was until I had come and had my appointment. And it was a morning appointment. So I was able to do 3 rounds of the protocol subscribed. And that was on a Wednesday. So by about Thursday at noon, so just a little over 24 hours from seeing her, I started to feel much better. All the sort of the extreme tiredness, just everything I was feeling. I mean, I was going through boxes of Kleenex, all that stuff, but sleeping tons, started to lift. And by Friday, so it was within 48 hours of starting just taking all the supplements 3 times a day, I was noticeably different, and I had to sit down and kind of look back through my past week and take note of what I had done for work and things like that, and realize that I had in essence lost 5 or 6 days that would have continued if I had done more of a traditional route of waiting for the 2 weeks to see where I am and then calling it 2.5 weeks to get maybe an antibiotic or a prescription if needed. But I truly had lost 6 days. I had slept this massive amount, and the dramatic turnaround I experienced just even within less than 24 hours, I found utterly phenomenal, and just honestly keeps me coming back. I'm also getting sick less, and when I do get sick, the duration is much shorter, so it's outstanding.
So can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Why didn't you take antibiotics first?
Well, so honestly, I have learned, because I'm a long-term, I've always, from the time of where I used to live, we could get chronic sinus infections. 2 to 3 times a year, I always got a sinus infection. And the standard protocol was, I had to wait 14 days, because then after 14 days, then it was, okay, we know it's serious, and now you can have your antibiotic. So I would have, if I had pursued the antibiotic route, I would have had to have waited another 8 to 10 days before I could call my doctor. I am not opposed to antibiotics. I'm not opposed to any of that. But in this case, it was very cold, sinus. It was probably something my kids brought home. It was clearly viral in nature, but it was really kicking my tuchus. And so now, honestly, the instant I start feeling that, within 2 to 3 days, if what I'm taking, and I sometimes have some of those teas that prescribe, and if I start taking some of those teas, I use thieves, and if within 2 or 3 days I'm not starting to feel myself coming up, I make the phone call to Dr. Cynthia, and it truly, within a day of starting whatever protocol you put me on, it's a 90-day difference.
So I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying. You are saying natural medicine worked faster for you than the alternative route would have been.
Yes, and I didn't have any sort of like opened wound, you know what I mean? I didn't have anything where it was a clear biological bacterial infection of that nature. There wasn't anything going on else like that. It was something my kids brought home from school or wherever, or I could have picked up from any place, that we consider the standard run-of-the-mill. You're gonna be, sick for 2 to 3 weeks, and if I nip it in the bud with Dr. Cynthia, this is not a 2 to 3 week thing. Yep.
Great. We like the better endings.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.